Hi, I'm Jonah Fogel, the Director of the Land Use Education Program at Virginia Tech, and I'm joined by Mike Chandler, the Director of Education for the program. And we're going to be talking a little bit about today is some of the vernacular, some of the language that gets used in community planning, whether you're participating in a comprehensive planning process. First of all, what's that? But also more generally about things that people might be talking about inside that comprehensive plan. And so, Mike, can you help me understand, first of all, what is a city plan or a comprehensive plan or a master plan? I hear all these words being used a lot, and it becomes very confusing for somebody that doesn't have a background in planning. What does all this stuff mean anyway?
That's a very good point, Jonah. The language is sometimes intimidating, and they sound all distinct and different. A comprehensive plan, a master plan, a general plan. Fundamentally, they're the same thing. They're one and the same. The Code of Virginia makes reference to a comprehensive plan. But we have examples in our state of Virginia, the Norfolk General Plan. Newport News refers to their comprehensive plan as a framework for the future. They all are one and the same. The nomenclature is different, yet they fundamentally address the same concerns, and that centers upon how that community is going to manage its land resource in direct relationship to the needs of the people who live in that community. Zoning sometimes is thought of as planning, when in reality zoning is something distinctive and different from community planning. The plan represents a policy, a direction, a hope, a dream, or aspiration regarding what a community wants to have for its future. Zoning is a means by which the community makes a determination as to the kinds of uses that would be permitted in different parts of our community, and that carries with it the force of law. And it's through zoning that a comprehensive plan is brought to life.
What are all the different aspects of a plan that might kind of culminate into what you call the master plan or a comprehensive plan?
It's a very good question. When we think about what goes into a comprehensive plan, we need to give thought to what you and I, as citizens of a community, look to a community to provide us. If we think about employment opportunities, then a comprehensive plan or master plan is going to concern itself with the economic base of a community. What is there? What mix of business, industry, and commerce is present in the community? Where do people work? So you are correct to point out that a comprehensive plan is a global functioning document, but internal to that document, different segments or functional components of life in the community where people live, residential use, housing plan, an economic base plan or an economic development plan.
Which could be everything from daycare to a manufacturing plant to a lawyer's office. It could be pretty much everything.
It covers a wide range of what constitutes for life in a community as we know it. The transportation plan is also very important when we think about how we get from one point in our community to another part of our community. In the modern era, we have come to rely upon the automobile. Thus, we all see roads and streets and highways in our communities. But we also get from point A to point B in other means and matters such as public transit, or possibly even walking, thus the importance of sidewalks in the community, or bicycling, and thus we see bike paths becoming more common. So yes,
really
transportation.
A full suite of options that people can take advantage of, whether they're driving or taking the bus, making all that stuff work in connection to one another, in concert with itself.
The transportation,
rather than just, kind of happening at will.
Transportation must be planned. We need to give some thought to where we want to build and place our roads, and placing our roads and building them in certain places, that generates a response in terms of development, be that of a commercial, business, industrial, or residential nature. And then of course below ground, things outside of our eyesight, water lines, sewer lines, utility lines.
Commonly referred to as infrastructure. Sort of the backbone of how cities can kind of come together.
Very, very correct, and very, very important. Infrastructure is a huge component when we think about a comprehensive plan for a city, county, or town. Giving thought to, again, what we need, and then where to and how best to respond to those needs by extension, provision, and/or extension of water, sewer lines, and roads. The irony in terms of humankind's development is a direct byproduct of said infrastructure. It's been remarked that man, somewhat humorously, is like the rat in that he too follows the sewer line.
Right.
And if we think about that, there's some truth to that. Thus, communities need to give thought to where they want to encourage growth and development, and the best way to make that happen, or to, in one sense, preclude it from happening, is by managing your infrastructure.
Right, and precluding growth is something that we have to do in some circumstances. And I hear different terms being thrown around, like open space planning or parks and recreation planning. So there's a whole set of lingo that kind of comes in through that as well, isn't there?
There is, and we probably have heard the term sprawl.
Yeah,
and sprawl is viewed differently by different people, obviously, but it has been associated with the notion that we, much like an egg on a hot skillet, tends to spread out. Communities spreading out over a large geographical area carry with it a substantial cost back to that community in terms of service. Thus, some communities, rather than sprawling out, have given favor to a more compact development pattern that emphasizes infill, another planning term, where we allow for a greater intensity of development in those areas where we have, by benefit of the infrastructure, the roads, the water lines, the sewer line capacity, the public services, the police, fire, rescue, schools, there's greater economies of scale, resulting in a less of a tax obligation on the citizens of the community.
So infill, as you said, is sort of filling in development where we already have development, but maybe it's a lower intensity or
a lower density.
Less dense.
That's correct.
Which it sounds like it'd be kind of the opposite of sprawl, or sort of a different pattern of development.
In many respects, it is the exact opposite of sprawl.
It's very interesting. Well, thanks again for helping us sort of understand the lingo, the terminology that goes into a comprehensive plan, and more generally, community planning.
You're welcome.
If you'd like to view this video and other videos that we've produced, you're welcome to go to planvirginia.com. At our website, you'll also find events that are upcoming. You can register for those events online, as well as read other materials that we produced. Thank you, and have a good afternoon. Thanks, Mike.
Good.